and there are so many videos that help children to learn. So teaching with technology, it's a fun thing presently, and it is really helping in shaping the way children are learning. Children are learning faster. Children, sometimes you wonder why they are able to do so many things they are doing now that we were not able to do while growing up, while we were their age, because
Yeah.
they do more of visual learning. So you're teaching a child a particular topic and you need the child to understand it perfectly well. You could just call up a video or, have access to some materials online that could help you, pass the information, break it down to the level that that child will understand very well. So it's actually helping. However, there are also some challenges with it in the way children are learning, right? So the thing
Yeah.
is, anything that has advantage also has disadvantage, and we just have to be careful so that the disadvantages don't spoil the advantages that we're getting from it. Is technology a blessing to education? Yes, it is. However, the way we're using technology has also become a problem to children and to parents. So there should be boundaries in using technology. But I can say, to answer your question, that technology has shaped the way children are learning, is making learning easy, and is making learning fun. However, it's also affecting children negatively, the way they grow and the way they are learning.
Now, some parents worry about much screen time harming children. Now, in your own opinion, as an expert, what do you say is the right balance?
Screen time, much screen time, definitely the thing is this: anything that is too much is bad.
Yeah.
Whatever it is in life, whatever that is too much is actually bad. So the same thing happens here. Screen time should be monitored. There should be a limit, because the thing is, these days, sometimes when you tell parents not to give children so much screen time, they will tell you, "Oh, that's just the thing that make them stay calm. That's just the thing that help them take care of the children, like so that the children will not disturb them." Sometimes you could see a child be on phone, play games for so many hours, or watch TV for so many hours. That's just so that parents, will have a little time, especially this holiday that the children are home. So you see, parents, yes, we understand that, the disturbance is there. So now you're looking for something to keep them at a place. But the thing is this, when I keep asking, our own parents also trained us, right? Our own parents
Yeah.
had us at home during holidays. There were no phones, and at some point, there were no 24 hours TV stations. So they were just stations that come up, once in a while. But they were still able to, take care of their children. They were still able to train their children. So the problem is not because all the screens are there. The problem is because we parents have failed to manage the screen time well. So one thing is this: teaching children, whatever children get used to, whatever they get used to, stopping it becomes a problem. So what we are telling parents, especially those that are still coming up, that are still, raising their children, that their children are still at an early stage, please and please start teaching them, how to set boundaries, and start teaching them screen time. So you could actually say you watch for 2 hours and you don't watch again. There are so many other things you can give them. Give them toys. What happened to toys? Those toys teach them a lot of things. Those toys help them with fine motor skills and gross motor skills and mental work. It helps them a lot than just screen, at every second. Some children sit in front of the television from morning to, you're not helping them, you're damaging them. So it is important that you you give them time, let there be time, let there be screen time. Start that. I know parenting now is quite taxing compared to parenting when our parents did their parenting. It's challenging, it's taxing. We understand that there are a whole lot of things. But the thing is that because it is taxing, that is why parents also need to be up and doing. parents need to be up and doing. I know managing parenting, your career, work, and all of that is difficult. It's not easy. But what we are saying is, if you put your mind and you're intentional about it, you can actually get this thing right. Children should not be allowed to be in front of the screen all through the day. There should be timing. Give them time to watch TV. Give them time to write. Get books for them to read, those that have gotten to the age of reading. Reading habit is dead presently. We are struggling to revive it. Get books for your children to read. I know buying books are expensive, but there are places where people are renting books now. I have a place where I was renting books for my children. They read and we go back to return to them and we pay again to get more books. So give time that they are to read for those that have come of age of reading. Those that have not come of age of reading, bring in toys. Give them things to do. Give them things that make them their brain to be You can hear me. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Also, I'm concluding on that we should give them things that keep build mental alertness. So there are toys, there are even educational materials that you could get at home, for your children to use. And even when they had to do screen should not just be cartoon and all of that. There are also educational materials that could be on screen. That you could also need. At the same time, what we're saying is let there be balance. So you give them screen time.
Now let's look at the age when children can be introduced to gadgets. What age do you think is the right age for children to be introduced to gadgets, and how can parents manage that transition responsibly?
Okay, the thing is this: if you're saying introduction,
yeah,
is it? Let me understand, because when we talk about gadgets, introducing children to gadgets, is it? These days we have little children, age 5, age 6, even before 10 years, we have personal smart gadgets. Are we talking about introducing them gadgets that we're using gadgets that it is we are monitoring? Are we talking about handing it over a smart gadget to a child?
Now, what I'm talking about is, at what age should you say, okay, you gradually begin to introduce them to digital devices? At what age do you think that is possible, that you begin to introduce them to digital devices, and how can you handle that responsibly? Are you there?
Okay. At the age of what to try, let's say school age. Let's say school age, because most schools use smart TV. So that's also introducing them to. So what we're saying is, as you're introducing them, what you're introducing them to, and make sure you monitor it. Let it not be a habit that at every time they are on screen. So as you are trying to introduce them to it, you're introducing them to digital devices, you're teaching them how to use it. And please, teaching them how to use it is very important, because we have cases of where I walk into a shop, I buy a phone and I hand over to my child without teaching the child how to navigate this world we're in now. I've not taught the child is not digitally literate. So, but just the fact that the child can operate the phone, I feel that the child is literate. No. If I buy a phone or I buy any gadget and I hand it over to my child without teaching my child how to use it, without teaching my child the devices out there, without letting my child know what is happening in the tech world and all of that, is the same thing as handing over my car key to my child of 10 years or my child of 15 years whom I have not taught how to drive, right? So if I should hand over
Yeah.
my car key to my child whom I have not taught how to drive my car, you know what is going to happen, right? Definitely the child is going to have an accident, there might be a crash and all of that. It is the same thing that happens when you have not properly taught a child how to use these things, not how to use it like, oh, this is where you press, this is, let the child know the things that are involved. Let the child know the sites to go to. Let the child know the bad things that could happen there. And let the child know the good things that could also happen there. There are a lot of things that are going on now, cyberbullying and all of that. Have you prepared your child? Have you prepared your child on how to filter the things that he or she picks from social media? Have you prepared your child at the age where he or she is supposed to be on social media? Right? The fact that I have given you a device doesn't mean that you should be on this platform and you should be on this platform. Have you taken your time to teach that child the platforms that the child can use at the moment and the one the child cannot use at the moment? So that's what we're talking about, digital literacy. In fact, I tell parents now that you don't have an option because of the way the world is. All of us just have to be tech savvy. So digital literacy is part of the things that you as a parent should put in the thing, in fact, top on your priority, things that you should learn to be able to guide these children. Because the fact is that most parents don't even know how to use these gadgets well. Rather, it's the children that are teaching them. If it's the child that is teaching you, how then do you monitor them? How do you monitor what they what? How are you able to, set some apps that guide you to know where your children are going to sites they are not supposed to go to. So you as a parent, this is something that you don't have a choice. You just have to learn. Because when you don't learn, you wouldn't know how to use. Sometimes someone was shocked that a friend did a screenshot of what her daughter posted on her status and sent to her. And she was like, this can't be my daughter. She doesn't do, I don't, how come it's on her status and I didn't see it? If it's my daughter, I would have seen the status. Further investigation revealed that she blocked her mom from seeing her status. And her mom is not even aware that such thing can be done. So those are the things that parents need, we just, there's nothing we can do. It is the world that we're in. And for us to be able to give those children, guide them so that the vices from technology will not affect them negatively. We ourselves need to be up and doing and take tech seriously. We also need to be learning tech.
That's an interesting point you made there. Now, let's look at family bonding, because a lot of people are complaining now that technology is affecting family bonding. Do you think personally now that technology is bringing families together or pushing them apart?
Okay. Somehow it's pushing them apart. And it is pushing them apart because of also the lack of awareness, what we're talking about now, what we just said, because we have not been able to set boundaries on how to use phones. And some homes, there are no laid down rules on how to use technology. There are no laid down rules. People come to the dining table to eat food, they are holding their phones. You're eating food and you're pressing phone. Parents and children are sitting together, they want to have a timeout, or they even go out and say they want to have a timeout, and you end up pressing phone. No bonding, you didn't do anything together. You just went out, you sat down, you pressed phone. Was that bonding? It wasn't bonding. You could just went to do competition in pressing phone. So what we're saying is this: everything also goes down to family system. There should be laid down rules in homes, right? When to use phone, when not to use phone, even among husband and wives. You and your husband are sitting down together and you feel you are having a conversation. You're pressing phone and he's pressing phone. You discover that people struggle to give themselves undivided attention these days. Without knowing it, you feel you're sitting together, you feel you're having a conversation. But your conversation, you are at that time, you are giving each other undivided attention. are you giving are you giving each other full attention? Like, as in, if I'm pressing phone, I'm not giving you full attention. I'm talking to you and you're pressing your phone. You're giving me attention. So
That's interesting.
if I'm having a conversation with my spouse, I'm having a conversation with my
Yeah.
spouse, and my spouse is pressing phone, it means he's not giving me attention. So those are the things we look at, and that's the area where it looks like it's separating us. Because unconsciously, the fact is that sometimes we do these things without knowing. We do them unconsciously. So unconsciously, you realize that people don't bond, people don't do things together again. Everybody is on phone, and all of that. So sometimes, even when you would want to, it will be like you've not heard from someone for a long time, or you've not seen your dad for a long time. There's this feeling, oh, you would want to bond with him. But the fact that you could easily do a video call and you're seeing him, you feel you're fine with it, right? So those are the areas where, yes, it could be like it's separating us. However, there are areas where it is also helping us. We see families that circumstances, maybe work or whatever, because of that, they are not together, or the children are in the universities, they are not together, but they need to talk to their parents. So imagine if there was no technology, imagine if there was no phone, imagine if there was no video calls and all of that. How would parents now, relate with their children, or spouses relate, with their spouse? So as we talk about the advantages, there are the disadvantages. But the thing is, if
Yeah.
we, set boundaries, put down rules on how to use these gadgets, well, yes, all these things we are talking about now will not affect us.
Because of time, I'm going to ask you 2 questions, but if you can just help me answer those questions within 60 to 90 seconds. The first one is, looking at the future, what do you think children should be developing now in a tech-centered world? In terms of what skills do you think they should be developing in a tech-centered world like we are now?
Okay. I would say number one, the first thing that will come to my mind is data entry. Yes, that's a skill that children should learn. Yes, data entry is very good because it has so many things that it's going to teach a child. I know these days parents talk about coding, but sometimes you see children who do not even, again, too, computer literacy from the scratch is something that is important that these children should be taught. So you see a child who doesn't know how to use a system, who has not been introduced to a system, and the first thing you're introducing that child to is coding. The child might learn, but you discover a child will struggle, either to learn fast or even to use what the child has been taught. So I would say start from the scratch. Let's do literacy. Once the child is done with literacy, then we'll start taking some of the tech programs that are available now. And one of my recommendations is data entry.
Now, my final question to you: if you are to give parents one golden rule for guiding their children into this digital age, what would it be?
I'll tell parents, please do not give your child a phone until that child is emotionally matured. Ask me when the child is emotionally matured, you will know. Your child giving a child gadgets doesn't necessarily mean it has to be aged. There are some children who are 10 years old and they are emotionally matured. While there are some that are up to 16 and they are not yet emotionally mature. But I'm saying that age also helps. So when a child is about 10 years and you're giving that child a gadget, or a child is still in secondary school, or giving that child a gadget, you're distracting the child. I know sometimes parents will say,
you're distracting the child. I know sometimes parents
buy a phone that is not a smartphone to use and communicate with them. Wait for them to be emotionally matured. The best time is when they are done with SS3. If they have anything to do that has to do with technology, let them use your phone. Let them use laptops that you can monitor. When they are done, take it away from them. If you need to communicate with them, give them a phone that is not a smartphone. When they are matured enough to use phone, give them phone.
give them phone.
Educator, thank you for joining me on this segment of my show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me too.